Ah, life, it has a rhythm and a flow. We can choose to take the path of least resistance, or we can continue to enroll in what is known as the school of hard knocks. I like the image of a river to kind of illustrate this. A river is a constant flow, always moving to a rhythm of its own over the rocks and down it flows. If you try to stop the water will find a way to keep on moving. Stopping what is inevitable is useless. The river you stepped into today is not the same water that you stood in before. In Paulo Coelho's introduction to his book, Make Tub, he writes what the book is not. It's not a book offering advice, he says. He goes on to say that the book is an exchange of experiences. Wow, he caught me right there. Because life is about an exchange of experiences. One type of experience for another type of experience. But he goes on to explain how he was offered a proposal for a daily column. And he said yes, without an idea of what he would write. But I was particularly struck by the sentence, I found the challenge exciting, though, and decided to go ahead with it. After all, to live means to take risk. To live means to take a risk. How many of us can say that we live a life of trusting in a new adventure without a clue of what you're going to do? How many of you have everything planned out? You know exactly from the moment that you get up to the time you go to bed what you're going to do. And many of those things that you do during that day, and we all do, are habitual habits. Because we tend to make the same choices over and over and over again. The same as we did before and the same that we did before that. And when we look to make some other change, we have a tendency to go, oh, wait, is there somebody out there that's got a better answer than I do? What would it mean to change your life to one that fills you with joy and wonderment every day? What would it mean to wake up and be like, I can't wait to start the day. Isn't this wonderful? I have two favorite questions that I ask quite often of myself. I'm curious. I am curious as to what the day is going to bring. I'm curious if I do this piece of business here, what may happen? And the other question I like is, how good can it get? Especially when things don't look like they're so good. It's like, how good can life get? I'm curious. What's going to happen next? Because it is an upraising vibration in which you face life. That you're engaged with what's happening. Now, the phrase to live means to take risks involves adopting a mindset that embraces uncertainty and stepping out of comfort zones to pursue a richer, more fulfilling life. In the work that I do with clients, I often work with oracle cards or tarot cards. And today, just to give you an illustration of some of the work that I do, I pulled a card on one of my favorite oracle decks, and that is Wisdom of the Oracle. It's by Colette Baron Reed. And when I pulled the card, I was thinking about the phrase, to live means to take risks. Often, we can get insight from pulling cards if we know how to ask the right question, and if we're in an open place in which to receive. It's the same with working with a pendulum. It's the same with working with your intuition. It is the muscle that you repeat and that you analyze and repeat in a different form and way that helps us to grow and expand. So you're all curious as to what I pull for a card, right? Well, it's a general reading for everybody. So the card is number 43, Deep Knowing. And the meaning, it has the moon and an owl. Actually has two planets in there and stars. But the meaning of it is intuition. Listening to the oracle within, empathy, hypersensitivity, and empath. Now let me just give you a deeper idea of what this really means when it comes to it. The oracle's message: intuition is the faculty that allows you to enter into dialogue with Source, the consciousness that you are a part of but cannot see with the naked eye. Right? It's perplexing that people are taught to ignore this natural capacity to navigate their journeys, to access their inner guidance. Know that you have an ability to read between the lines and find all the truth that was missing when the story was told. This deep knowing allows you to open the door to wisdom far greater than what is available in limitations of human experiences. You're given information that may make no sense whatsoever to the logical mind or the five senses, but which is 100% correct and true. The trick is to listen and then to act accordingly. You're now invited into this sacred dialogue of deep knowing, so tune in and trust your vibes. They will be right. Ask and you will receive answers from unusual sources. Well, you might say, I'm part of that unusual sources when I guide my clients through a journey and I use these cards. It is my tapping into intuition, and it's not just the cards. It's helping them to hold that space and tap into their own. So a deep knowing that life has something more in store for you can be a catalyst that leads you to start the journey of discovering why you're here. Why is it that life doesn't seem to fit? Well, part of that is because life has a rhythm and a flow. We can choose again to take the past path of least resistance, or we can continue to enroll in those hard knocks. Right? As I said before, the river is not the same water that you stood in before. And what does that mean exactly in our terms? Is that the river has no past and it has no future. The river has only now. It only has that moment when you step in it now to make the decision, to make the choice, to trust in the flow of life as it aligns with the discovery of one's soul path. We all begin with what and why kind of questions. What is my soul's purpose? Why is the desire so important to me now? Well, In some ways, the simplest answer is that if you were drawn to invest time and energy into transforming your life, then perhaps you came to the right place at the right time. That it was now. Something drew you here because you're uncomfortable where you are. You know that something else is waiting for you. How do I take that next step? How do I move forward in my life? Oh, well, I do have an offer for you, which is called Soul Path Blueprint, Unlocking Clarity and Purpose. And I have to absolutely chuckle because I wrote out some of this on the script and then things doubled in life. It's like you're going to say something over and over again, right? But the offer is about gaining clarity, because when we have too much information, we keep repeating something that shows us again and again. We don't know the steps in which to take. We don't know how to be, what does that mean to be true to ourselves? So we're all ingrained in the everyday minutia of what our life has been up until now. So I'm Leslie Nace, and I'm an intuitive shamanic practitioner and soul-led coach for personal growth. Yeah, I use my tarot card and oracle cards, and for years I have helped clients get clarity around their true purpose. The reading that I'm offering is based on a 12-month spread of cards. Now there's 2 cards in the circle that I make of 12 months. So, example, January has a card that will be the theme for the month. Underneath it, it has another card, which is the plan of action or inaction for that month. So I use the tarot card for the theme of the month, and the oracle cards are, those are really ones that I always feel like that's the guidance. That's going to tell me whether or not I need to step forward and take some kind of action now, or maybe it's like the combination of the theme and the action, or some inactions to lay kind of low. Life isn't about going all out in the first few months of a new year, or when you get a reading, or when you change your life, and when you try to step into your shoes of who you truly are and your integrity. It is really about step by step of how do you first put on those shoes? How do you first think about life and this change? Because there are hurdles and things along the way when you're transforming. Let's face it, life is messy. And if it's messy, then you have to clean it up. And sometimes what we clean up is what we have taken in within our own body. Somatically, we hang on to these little triggers that go over and over again. This is the beginning. Soul Path Blueprint is what helps you to discover where you need to go, when you can expand and grow, and when you can contract and recenter. So if you'd like to learn more about the Soul Path Blueprint offer, connect with me below, and we can book a time to chat. But thanks for being here, and thanks for listening. And I am hoping for you and yours. Wow. I just used a word I don't usually use very often. I don't hope. Hope is something that is outside, that's long playing. I hope I get there. I hope I can do this. No. I want you to commit, to know, to trust, to be in who you are fully, especially with what's happening in our world right now. Not looking outside of yourself, but looking within yourself with your own intuition, your own knowing. I just hold the space. I hold the love and the compassion for you to be able to do that. You are the one who needs to make the change. You're the one who has to say, I'm ready. No more of what I've done. I know there's something. I feel it. It draws me. I am so compelled to make this change in life. Invest in yourself. Really decide that now is the time. One way or the other. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.